Welcome back. Welcome back. It's your host, Delano, on the FanWire podcast. Check this out. We got a question. Is the Washington Mystics' new coach, Sidney Johnson, the WNBA's Dan Quinn? That's the question. If you are a DMV fan, right? If you're a Washington fan of multiple teams, or if you are a Washington Mystics fan and a Washington Commanders fan, question. Just let's get our brains thinking for a moment. Is Coach Sidney Johnson the WNBA's Dan Quinn? And the reason why I ask that is they are both seasoned coaches, right? They both came into Washington franchises when they needed a overhaul, a drastic improvement, whether it's culture, whether it's coaching, whether it's player performance, all of the above, right? Question is Coach Sidney Johnson going to take that same direction? From the very, very beginning, we both of these coaches' tenure in the Washington sports market, right? They both were looked at as they got coaching experience, but hey, what are they going to do when they come here? They both were when both were signed on as the coach of their respective teams. Both coaches were looked at as like, I don't know about this, from the collective, right? From fans, from the media. It was both were out of left field, let's say, right? So when Dan Quinn came to the Washington Commanders, he was a former head coach. He was a assistant coach for the rival, and a lot of fans and a lot of media had a totally different coach pegged for that job. And for whatever the reason, that didn't work out, right? So we got the news that Dan Quinn is the coach. It's like, I guess, okay, I guess. But we knew that he's a culture setter and he's the leader of men, right? So let's flip it. When Coach Sidney Johnson came on, we had no idea who the coach was going to be. We had no idea who was in the front running for this. But we did know that we needed a coach, right? We needed a GM, right? And what happened was Coach Sidney Johnson came in, and it was a similar story. We knew that he has coaching experience, coaching college, coaching USA 3-on-3 basketball, and things, or being involved in that. And it's like, we don't know what we're getting here. Just like the same thing, we didn't quite know what we was getting with Dan Quinn. But when Dan Quinn took the job, he also had an opportunity to get a trend setting, a dynamic, a quarterback of the future. And they made a great selection, right? And that helped propel the Commanders to out of this world stratosphere. Beyond belief of what we thought could happen, right? And it's amazing how if you get the right people, the right players, and develop the right system for the players, and develop the culture, how things can shift and how things can go. All right. So Dan Quinn came in, set the culture. It's like, hey, we're gonna punch everybody in the mouth and take their cookies and win, right? And that was such a breath of fresh air, right? For the fan base, the organization, the team, the players, everybody. Everybody. All the way down probably to the parking attendants. Everybody. So on the flip side again, let's talk about Coach Sidney Johnson. He is literally doing the same thing. We had 3 number 1 draft picks with the Washington Mystics. Unheard of. Top 6 picks are unheard of, right? So it's like, hey, we're going to see how this goes. We're going to see how this goes. And Coach Sidney Johnson has set an electric atmosphere, an atmosphere where the players are comfortable, and you can tell that the players have bought in to Coach Sidney Johnson. And I'll be honest, I didn't expect this to happen so fast, right? And then to see our players that we selected with our number 1 picks having such a great dynamic beginning of a season under his tutelage is like, yo, we might be cooking with something. We might be cooking with something. I think that these 2 gentlemen are the right coaches for these particular teams at the right time. And, everything is from here. It is literally just like a rocket ship transcending to new heights, right? All right. So, Dan Quinn, we've already seen what you did in year 1. Almost made it to a Super Bowl. I mean, good grief. You almost had me in here. And if we'd have made it to the Super Bowl, it'd have been a whole nother animal out here. A whole nother animal. But, it is what it is. So now, this is the beginning of, okay, there's another thing too. When it comes to the Mystics, we know that we're new. We know we're trying to figure things out. And are we going to go to the finals? I don't know. Are we going to make it to the playoffs? I don't know. But we have the pieces to get there. We definitely have the pieces to get to the playoffs. But it's just one of those things of like, hey, are we going to be able to sustain our momentum that we had in the first couple games? Because we have been losing some games that we should have won, but we're not going to win every game. It's a long season, right? Just like with the Commanders. They started off hot, then they started losing some games, and you'd be like, I don't know. But then they figured it out and got the cooking. So when it comes to the Washington Mystics, I definitely have the faith that we're going to get on the other side of some of these games. We're going to get some of these W's. So my question for you, if you're a Washington Mystics fan, if you're a Washington Commanders fan, if you're just a fan of WNBA basketball, if you're a fan of the NFL, what do you think? Do you think that Coach Sidney Johnson is the WNBA's Dan Quinn? I don't know. What do you think? I think it's close. I think he can be right. I think it's 1A and 1B. I think for real. I think we're cooking. I think we're on to something here. So let's do this. In the comments, let us know what you think. Let us know if you think we're going to be on that same trajectory as the Washington Commanders with the Washington Mystics. We're like sister brother organizations. So let's see what we do. Let's see what we do. All right. So go ahead and take a moment and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to like and follow our social media pages on Instagram, Facebook. We already know you're subscribing to YouTube. If you are, but if you haven't, go ahead and do it real quick. Don't take a second, like 2 seconds. And if you like the content, if you feel it, donate. Cash App's right there. Let us know what you think. And information will be in the description too. Y'all have a good one. We appreciate y'all. This is your host, Delano, on the FanWire podcast. Just bringing y'all some good content. Y'all have a good one. and we're going to be right back at you real soon. Because when we shoot, we score over here at the FanWire Podcast. See y'all later.